All right, so welcome to another amazing 10 trade webinar. This is a live trading session webinar where we're looking at the market together, analyzing setups, profitable setups that we can catch this week. And of course, it's also an avenue for you to get your questions answered. All right, so it's going to be an interactive class, so it should be here in the next 30 minutes to 1 hour, checking out different setups in the market. So we should look at least probably 5 to 7 currency pairs tonight. And these pairs might align this week. Today is Thursday. All right, so we still have the rest of the New York session and Sydney session will start, and then tomorrow. So we still have almost 2 trading days whereby we can get good setups, right? Now, let's start from the most popular pairs. Let's start from GBP USD. Or Victor, if you have some particular pairs in mind, you can of course type it in the chat box, and then we look at those pairs together. Okay, but let's start from GBP USD. Okay, and for everybody watching the replay as well, so just tag along. And you want to do the same exact markups on your own chart as well, and also try and spot setups in those zones. All right. Now, this is GBP USD. What I like to do on any commodity that I'm trading is to know the higher time frame perspective. Okay, I want to know exactly what's going on the higher time frame, all right? Because the higher time frame is an authority time frame, all right? It gives me a better overview of where price is going, all right? So I have to look at what's going on the weekly chart, all right? I might not take any setup on the weekly, but just to have a feel as to the direction of price, what price is doing, all right? So that's why I do the weekly, and I can remember that multiple times. We've looked at GBP USD on the weekly time frame, and I can remember telling us that over here price is in a downtrend. All right, price is currently reacting to this supply range here. All right, and then what are we saying? Price is currently retracing into the supply, and we have equal highs here. If you remember my session, right, I talked about these equal highs, and what this means is that there's a lot of liquidity here. Okay, a lot of orders here, people's stop losses, people's pending orders are here. So if the market makers, the big banks, the financial institutions, if they would move price down, right? We are aware that this is a downtrend. If price is going to go down like so, right, they first of all have to grab liquidity. All right. So grabbing liquidity is that they need to push price up here to take out people's stop losses. Once that is done, right, we can now start looking for great sales. As soon as this happens, if we see a setup for a sell here, right, it's going to be an aggressive move, and that move is going to push price all the way down. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. All right, so that's exactly what price is trying to do on the weekly time frame. So we are seeing that bullish momentum, all right? And what is price doing? Price is trying to go all the way up here, okay, to take out liquidity. Once we see a grab of liquidity, then we can start looking for very, very good sales. Okay, so that weekly perspective, helps you to know what price is intending to do. So now that we have a perspective of price on the weekly time frame, we know that price has some bullish momentum, all right, to come here and grab liquidity. Once price has finished grabbing liquidity here, we can start looking for sales. So if you had known this, if you had known this, that price wants to come here and grab liquidity, right? In the last, let's say 3 weeks, you would have been looking for, solid buys. You'd have been looking for buys, right? Now, let's go to a lower time frame. Let's go to the daily time frame and see exactly what price is doing. Okay. So this is a daily time frame. We can see that price is still on this price during. We can see the liquidity that we're talking about here. These equal highs here. Okay. And then what can we see? We can see a bullish momentum right here on the daily time frame, like so. Price currently creating higher highs. Okay. Now, what we must also realize is that a lot of retail traders this week stroke next week, they are going to be trying their best to sell at this point. Let's delete this. They're trying their best to sell at this high here. Okay, so some already started selling because, of course, this is a resistance zone. Okay, this is a supply level, right? A lot of people will have been trying to sell here, but if you are selling here, you'll be doing a major mistake, right? So what you want to do is you want to wait for price to take out this liquidity. So wait for price to come out beyond the zone before you start looking for sales, because everything here is a supply zone. Even outside this zone, it's still a good zone to look for sales. But a lot of people are going to be putting their stop losses where above this zone, like so. So you want to wait for price to break out of this zone, right, before you look for entry. So that's what daily is telling us, right? Of course, price is still very much bullish on the daily time frame. All right, so let's go to the so if price is still very much bullish on daily time frame, all right, what can we do over here? You can still look for buy. So if people start selling in this zone, if they start selling in this zone, right, we might see a bit of sellers pressure, which is normal because a lot of people are selling. Okay, so there'll be some form of inducement to lure people into selling at this point that will make people want to put their stop loss here. So price would sell for a short while, but ultimately, because the market structure on the daily time frame is bullish, right? Over here, this is a block of demand here. So if and when price starts dropping from this zone over here, right? As soon as price comes into this zone, you that understands the concept of liquidity grab, because you know that price still has long way to go to come and grab liquidity here. If price retraces from this zone here and comes back into this block of demand, you want to be looking for buy opportunities. So you're going to buy price, okay, into this zone. And then when price gets here again, you look for your sell opportunities and then you sell price all the way down. Okay, so this is what I'll do. This is what I'm waiting for. Okay, so daily has given us the perspective. So we have a perspective on weekly time frame. We have a perspective on daily time frame. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Now we are working our way down to find an entry zone. Okay, so check out what's going on the 4 hours as well. Price is also what? Price is also bullish, okay, on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so this is our daily demand. All right, so on the 4 hours, it will be a bit more refined. Yeah, hold on, let me go back to daily. Let me check something. All right, so everything good. So fine here. If you go to the 4 hours, so because we're expecting a reaction here from retail trader, a lot of people are going to be selling in this particular zone, right? But that sell is going to be short-lived. All right. So price is bullish, like so. What do you want to wait for? You want to wait for price to retrace. Right. So if I take my fibs from here to somewhere this high, for example, right, I'll be interested in selling at least below, in buying rather below the 50%. All right. So which aligns with the daily demand zone that we drew. So somewhere along this zone, all right, will be a good time to look for buys. Okay, somewhere here. And this would also coincide with this inducement right here. Okay, we have liquidity here as well. Okay, so if price should come down from here, it's going to come down to take out this inducement here, this liquidity here, come down to the demand zone, and then ultimately shoot all the way up. All right, so lots of moves that has not happened on GBP USD. All right, so what I'm waiting for is very, very simple. All right, I'm waiting for a buying opportunity based on this 4 hours time frame. So if price should retrace into this zone, okay, I'm going to go on the 15-minute time frame, and I'm going to look for buying opportunities. All right, why am I also interested in buying in this zone? Because this demand zone can see inducements here. All right, so and then we're also trading against, you know, what other people are doing. So most people will be interested in selling at this zone. All right, but we are interested in buying over here. Okay, so that's what I think price is going to do on GBP USD. All right, so I also recommend that you just wait for price to do that. So you want to mark out this zone on your chart as well. All right, so that you'll be up to date. So what I'll do is I'll just come here, and then I'll just set an alert, add alert. Okay, so that when price gets into this zone, I'll notify them, and then I know exactly what to do. All right. So why am I not selling here? Because of what we've seen on the higher time frame perspective. We understand that price is trying to take out this high. Yeah. So it is when price takes out this high, that's when I'm interested in selling, right? I'm not selling at this zone because this is a place where liquidity is. I don't want to be the liquidity that will be grabbed. All right. So, and daily also confirms it, right? The market structure on daily is still very, very much bullish. So why are you selling in a bullish environment? Right? The market structure on 4 hours is still very, very bullish. Why are you selling in a bullish environment? Okay, so which is why over here, I'm waiting for price to retrace into this demand zone. That most likely be our higher low, and then we'll take the shot for a buy. Okay, so let me know if we understand. Silence Wolf, you're welcome. Victor E. Wisdom, let me know if you understand this analysis first. All right. So it's just simple supply and demand. And then we are putting liquidity into consideration. If you have a particular currency pair that you would like us to analyze, you can type it in the chat box. Let's look at it together. Okay, and then spot some things. So that's what I have on GBP USD. All right, let's check out Euro USD. Okay, Victor said gold and GBP. So let's check out gold. Gold and GBP AUD. Okay, so let's check out what's going on gold on the weekly time frame. Gold on weekly, right now, is giving us a bullish momentum. All right, gold is bullish on weekly, as you can see over here. Okay, so we are seeing new highs on gold on weekly. All right, so if we know that, that means the strength is with the bulls, right? So ideally, it makes sense to look for buys. But because this is the weekly time frame, you know, on a 4-hour time frame or daily, we can easily catch the counter trend for interest. But let's see if that's not possible. Let's go to the daily time frame. Daily time frame. All right, so price is still very much bullish as well on the daily time frame. All right, so let's just go along with the bullish momentum first while we'll spot a sell scenario as well. Now, we know that price is bullish, and in a bullish environment, it makes sense to wait for price to retrace into a demand zone before you look for buys. Okay, so over here, we have a couple of demand zones on this impulse leg here. This is a demand zone. Okay, we have demand here, and we have demand here. So if price should retrace into this zone, we can look for buys. Price should retrace into this zone and also look for buys. So those zones are zones where we can buy. Okay, but price has not gotten into those zones yet. If we take this, if you take all of this, all right, so you want price to still retrace to at least the middle of the zone to look for buys. So let's go to the 4-hour time frame and see exactly what's going on. So we're expecting price to retrace into the zone for buys. If you go to the 4 hours on gold, what do we have going on gold? All right, so you can see that we have a high here, like so. Okay, so ultimately on the 4-hour time frame, price is still also very, very bullish. All right, price is bullish, and price came very close to this high, but price did not break this high. Okay, so that means possibly price wants to make its way down here. Now, there are a few things that I'm seeing here. We have a trend line liquidity somewhere here, like so. Okay, and then what also do we have? We have a structure here, a minor structure. We have this impulse, like impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse. Okay, now looking at all of this, we can actually ride this move. All right, so this is a demand level here. So because we are in a bullish environment, right? On weekly charts, we've identified the bullish move. On daily, we've also seen the bullish leg, right? Now on 4 hours right now is still also very, very bullish. And then I'm seeing a minor structure here, right? A minor structure here. And then price is creating a minor high. So what we can do is to wait for price to retrace into this demand here. Okay, us price should do that. Over here, want to look for opportunity to buy inside the zone. So on gold, between 1971 and 1955 is a zone where we can look for buying opportunities. Okay, so that's what I'll do on gold. I'll wait for price to retrace. All right, so for example, this move already happened on Wednesday, which is yesterday. All right, so let's assume that this was what price was doing. Now, if you had seen this, if you had this session earlier, I would have shown you exactly what's going on. So on gold, we had this internal structure over here, this manual structure here, and this would have been and this would have been your demand zone over here. Okay, so you have waited for price to retrace into the zone before you look for your buys, and check out what price did. Price retraced inside the zone, and then price moved. So the same thing that happened here, we are still on that leg. Price is giving us a high. So you want to wait for price to retrace into the next demand. So this is the next demand zone. All right. Wait for the retracement. Once price retraces into this zone, you want to look for your confirmations for a buy. But I want to recommend that before you look for buys in a demand zone, you want to always spot liquidity first. So this is the 4-hour time frame. I want to recommend that you go to time frames like your 15 minutes or 10 minutes chart or 5 minutes. And then before you take entry, you want to spot liquidity first. So what do I mean by liquidity? You want to see buyer's pressure and then people's stop loss taken out. So if when price retraces into this zone like so, on lower time frame like 15 minutes, you want to see something like a W pattern like so. Okay, this means that a lot of people's stop losses is below the zone. So you now want to wait for price to come down to take out people's stop losses. So once this has happened, at this zone is where you want to look for your buying opportunity. So you buy after liquidity has been grabbed. Okay, that is the best way to increase your strike rates as a forex trader. So regardless of what you are trading with, if it's smart money concepts or reversal patterns or chart patterns, if you can take a good entry after liquidity has been grabbed, your strike rates, your win rates will improve. Okay, at least at 30%. So that's what I have on gold, Victor. So let's check out what's going on GBP USD, GBP AUD that you asked. So welcome on board to people that are joining. This is a live trading session, and then we are spotting setup together. So what I want you to do is very, very simple. If you have a particular currency pair that you want us to check out, type it in the chat box. Pairs that you're looking at trading for this week or next week, type it in the chat box. All right, good. So let's check out GBP. Victor, let me know if that analysis makes sense to you. GBP AUD. All right, so let's check out what's going on the weekly time frame. Okay, so this is GBP on weekly. Okay, we just said it does good. So GBP on the weekly, what do we have going on weekly? We can see that the momentum on weekly is bullish, right? Price has given us new highs like so. We have new highs like so. Okay, and what we can do. So in a bullish environment, it makes sense to look for buying opportunities. All right, so I'm just going to highlight a bit of demand levels, right, on this leg here. So we have this zone at the flip zone here, like so. Okay, so this is a demand over here, like so. Okay, and also look at this zone. So these zones are zones where you can look for buys. So over here, buys here. Can look for buys here. So that's our high time perspective on the weekly. So let's go to the daily chart and find something. So that zone on daily, okay, you can see it makes more sense on daily now. All right. So we can look for buys here. This is daily time frame. Look for buys here. And retracement, look for buys. Okay. So and the price is almost here. So GBP USD. So this might happen sometime next week. It might not happen this week again on GBP AUD. So price is giving us new highs. So you're looking for price to retrace. Let's check out what's going on the 4-hour time frame. All right. So what do we have on 4-hour chart? So still the same bullish structure right here. So price has not given us a solid high because this is the previous high, like so. And then we can see that price is just giving us a week, right? The body of the candle did not close above that. So let me make it happen. There you go. So this is 4 hours, all right? Look at this high right here. When price came back into that zone to take it out, the body of this candle did not close above the zone. So we can't count this as a break of structure. So we are seeing some level of exhaustion here, right? So this can just be some sort of a stop hunt, okay, or liquidity grab. So ideally, what I want to do is I don't recommend that the structure of the daily is a bit clear, all right? So what we can do is to wait for price to retrace into the zone, and then we look for buys, all right? If price is going to retrace, we're also going to know. Excuse me. Okay. So let's find something that we can trade. So still on the 4-hour chart, let me see something. So we have here, we are seeing some sort of momentum. So still on the 4 hours, it's at these zones you want to look for sales, for buys, this zone, which aligns with the daily. Or if you're interested in the counter trend, which is a sell, right? You want to start looking for your sell setups now, because this is what price has done on 4 hours. We can see this impulse, correction, impulse. Okay, so we can see that price has taken out this low, like so, without wick, and then we can see price retracing over here. So what you want to do is at this zone now, you can start looking for your sell opportunity over here. So if you go to the 15 minutes time frame, can we see a sell opportunity? Okay. So over here, we are seeing some sort of a reversal pattern form. All right. So this is a possible M pattern, and then a possible heads and shoulder pattern that's about forming here. So if this happens like so, right, you have the left shoulder, you have the head, you have right shoulder, right? If price should possibly break out of this zone and then you see a retracement, right? You want to take your short for a sell. And then if you are selling into that demand zone so that you now start looking for your buy opportunities. Now, this particular setup here is a counter trend setup. And you know that counter trends are a bit more risky. All right. So you want to be very careful with your risk in taking this particular trade. Are we together, guys? Are we together? Victor, let me know if you understand what I've said so far on GBP. You're not on the trade up here. Let me know if you understand. All right. So I've shown you a counter trend trade idea. Okay. Price has given us some form of a order flow shift on the 4-hour time frame. We can see this low taken out. This low has been taken out, okay, by this week here. And then so price took it out, and we are seeing a retracement into a demand zone. So into a supply zone rather. So that's why I highlighted this particular zone here. So price is currently now in a supply. And in that supply, we want to be looking for opportunities to sell. Okay. We go to 15 minutes, look for sells. All right. So we're going to see liquidity grabs first. All right. So price, first of all, came into this zone here. All right. We can see an M pattern here, like so. M pattern, price taking out. Oops. So we can see the seller's pressure. This is people's stop losses will be here. So price is back into the zone now. All right. So right here, we can look for very, very good sell opportunities. All right. So the easiest pattern that you can use for reversal is if you can spot a good heads and shoulder pattern over here, which is what I think you should go with if that happens. Head and shoulder. So if you see a head and shoulder pattern form here, okay, if you see a head and shoulder pattern form here, all right, take the shot for a sell. Okay, using proper risk management. Solomon Musa, you're welcome. Okay, so let's check out the last pair for tonight. Which pair should we check out? So we've checked out gold tonight. We've checked out GBP USD, and we've checked out GBP AUD. Okay. Which other pair should we check out? I want to only check out pairs that you are interested in. Which pairs are you interested in, guys? So send 1 or 2 pairs and then look at it before we end this session. Okay, so there is no setup currently aligning that we can take entry. All right. So while I'm waiting for your response, let's just do the popular pair, Euro USD. So let's go to the weekly time frame. So what do we have going on the weekly here? So price is currently at this supply. All right. And that supply, we've seen liquidity grabs into the supply. I'll see trend line liquidity, price grabbing the liquidity. So over here, we can start looking for sell opportunities in this zone. Let's go to the daily time frame, see something. So what do we have going on here on the daily time frame? Now on the daily time frame, we can see bullish momentum on daily over here. Why bullish? Because of this move here. Okay, so this is a minor structure anyways, but so it's still a bullish momentum. So that means on daily, this guy is not actually ripe for a sell yet on daily. Okay, now let's go to 4 hours and see what's going on for 4 hours. Let's get a clearer picture of what price is doing on the 4 hours. Now on the 4 hours, we can still see the bullish momentum right here. Okay, excuse me. So let's find a very good zone that we can trade from. Can we say, let me change my hiking actually. All right. So can we say something like this? So this is a demand zone like so. Price currently is taking off from a demand zone. From this zone, price is going all the way up. So the demand is in control. So possibly price might take out this high. Possibly price will eventually take out this high. So if that is the case, and we are seeing this internal structure on 4 hours, we have this impulse, correction, impulse over here. Now, what we can do is wait for price to retrace into this area of structure here, this demand level. So if we see retracement into the zone, all right, we look for buy opportunities and then you target this high, like so. Excuse me. So that's what I'm going to do on Euro USD. Okay, remember it's very similar to the move that would also happen on GBP USD. Okay, so a bit of bullish momentum on those pairs. So, but for Euro USD on 4 hours, I'm waiting for price to retrace into the zone. Once that retracement happens, I'm waiting to look for a buy setup at this zone. All right. Do you have any particular pair you want to check out? Ivan, Wisdom, Solomon, and Victor. All right. We've checked out 5 pairs. We checked out GBP USD, Euro USD, gold, gold, and GBP AUD. All right, so 4 pairs right now. Which other pair do you want us to check out before we call it a night? It's almost time to end the session anyways. All right, so what I want us to do, guys, is very, very simple. Now, what I've analyzed this night are things that's still going to happen. All right, so I want to recommend that if you can, you want to watch the replay of this session and you want to mark out these zones on your chart as well, so that whenever it happens, possibly tomorrow or next week, you are prepared. You know exactly what to do when price retraces to those zones. Excuse me, and then you're able to take your entries. All right. So that's that for tonight. If you have any questions, we'll watch the VI. You watch the video. Okay, so perfect. All right. If you have any questions, feel free to ask your questions in the 10 trade communities that we have on WhatsApp and Telegram. And somebody will be there to answer your questions. I would also be on those groups as well to answer all our questions, or you can reach out to your account officer, okay, to help you with anything that you need. Okay. So guys, I'll see us on the next webinar. To then have a lovely trading week, and I wish you all the very best. Good night, everybody. God bless you.